So van life basics, living tiny in your tiny home. No, I didn't make a mistake there. I know there's lots of videos out there about living large in your tiny home, but we don't want to live that way. And hopefully you'll see that it's a choice that you're going to have to make how you want to live in your vehicle. So basically living in a car, van, or RV automatically doesn't mean that you're going to live a minimalistic lifestyle. We ourselves are not true minimalists in the purest sense, and very, very few people on the planet could actually admit to being that way, at least not by choice. But we do choose to glean some of the benefits that this lifestyle offers. So living large isn't a bad thing, but it does come with a trade-off or costs associated with it that we're going to go through. So basically, like I said, it's a personal decision that you're going to have to make, and you're probably going to go one way or the other on the spectrum as you live this life. Basically, that's exactly what it is. There's two choices. There's comfort or freedom. So living large is comfort, and that brings with it luxury and convenience, and then there's freedom. And with freedom, you get independence and adventure. So you need to decide where on that scale you want to live, because with more of one is less of another. Okay, so let me just illustrate a quick example for you so you can understand what I'm talking about. You have a 40-foot Class A diesel pusher with every convenience known to man, built-in vacuum, washer, dryer, dishwasher, all of those things. So we're talking maximum comfort. Now in that unit, are you going to be able to go and park downtown New York or Toronto? How about, are you going to be able to go and find that hidden gem of a lake up a logging road in that vehicle? Probably not. So with maximum comfort comes loss of freedom. So that's just what I'm talking about when I gave you that example earlier. Realistically, everyone has different desires and dreams in their life. So whether it be that you're going to be static or nomadic, everyone has different abilities. The ability to design or build or work on their vehicle, or even desire, and also your means available. What you have to start up as an investment into your vehicle or earning ability, and what's your plan once you move in. So all of those things are going to affect minimalism. So let's just define what a tiny life is. It's basically a life that's focused on experiences rather than material possessions or conveniences. Keep things simple, live with less, use what you have. The end goal is to reduce debt, reduce unnecessary expenses, and to reduce stuff. And when you do all of those things, you also end up reducing worry and bringing more joy and happiness into your life. So benefits of a tiny life. So probably the most sought after benefit is financial. According to StatsCan, the #1 household expense is, of course, housing, and you can spend 35% or more of your income on it. Now, housing is shelter as well as the household costs. So if you can reduce or eliminate these by moving into your vehicle, you also create some more trickle-down effects, such as now you have reduced room. So reduced room means less stuff. So less stuff or area to store it means also that you're going to spend less in the future. Basically, your life becomes a needs only. So you have only what you need, you buy only what you will use and have room for, so you don't buy and store stuff anymore. You have to be creative to use what you have to do the things that you need to, and most things are going to be multi-use. So with this, you'll automatically reduce the money that you need to live. If you reduce the money that you need, you reduce the amount that you have to work. If you reduce the amount that you have to work, you now have more time for experiences and relationships. So the second highest category of expense for households happens to be transportation. So let's discuss the vehicle portion of that. Now, where possible, you always want to try to purchase your vehicle outright and have no loan or lease. Those are always a burden to you. So where possible, you always want to not have those. And if you have to go that way, you might want to buy a smaller or older vehicle. Because it not only reduces the cost that you may pay, but it also reduces the operational costs and also could lower the insurance costs. An older vehicle that has less features will be less insurance. The key is that the vehicle needs to be in good mechanical condition as well as have a good body condition, or it's going to be a money pit to you, and that's one of the last things that you want. A smaller vehicle, of course, like we said earlier, it's easier to park and it uses less fuel. But remember, if you are going to be nomadic, more kilometers means more maintenance. So then there's some other decisions in there, which we'll talk about in a future video. Also, with a vehicle, if you learn to do a lot of the basic repairs, builds, and upgrades yourself as much as possible, and you reduce, reuse, and recycle, and of course the best things in life are free as well, you're going to be much further ahead in the game. You don't need to pay a lot of money to build a vehicle. So basically, we own a 91 Dodge Ram van, paid in full, excellent shape. We always maintain it, and do most of that maintenance ourselves. Almost our entire build was done of free, repurposed, and reused materials. And also most of our build is multifunctioning to meet all of our needs. So we don't have to keep building, and we don't need more space taken away from us in our build because we have everything we need. So basically, you can do a lot of these things yourselves. Most of your build you can do, you can add things as you go, like power, maybe even rubberize your roof, unless you like the sound of rain like we do. But also maintenance, doing oil changes, bulb replacements, fixing minor leaks, changing the plugs and wires, or doing your brakes even. Most of those things you can do yourself. You can find great YouTube videos on them, or use members of the vanning community or the caravanning community. They are great. It's a fantastic community, and people are more than happy to help. So the next area of saving financially is also in utilities and fees. Being in a car, van, or RV is smaller than a brick and mortar house, so it takes less energy to heat and cool. Because you're experiencing life, you probably don't need cable as well, or satellite, even though lots of people do get those. But most places have Wi-Fi, so you can even forego data in many cases, or internet service. We haven't paid to park in over 5 years. Not once, not one night. Garbage is usually free. Tanks may have a small fee to dump or fill, if you have them. We have no tanks, and we've never ever had any issue finding bathrooms to dump our gray or black water, or fine water for that matter. And with a small inverter, you can basically charge things while the vehicle is running and eventually add solar or another power generation source of some kind. So let's recall that tiny living is more about experiences in life rather than things. So with that in mind, let's talk about experiences. So the best things in life are free, and there's plenty to do or see in almost every place you go for free. But an occasional splurge can be awesome. So whether that be the observatory in Watson, Yukon to see the northern lights, or the sea to sky gondola in Squamish, or perhaps ferry rides to the islands to see the Great Bear Rainforest, those would be lifelong, once-in-a-lifetime experiences, and they're worth it. Other things, such as whale watching, can quite easily be done free from the shore or during your ferry trip. Hot springs are another thing. They can be quite expensive in many places, but there's lots of many free locations. So search those things out. Many things that you might want to pay for, you can probably find free somewhere. You just got to look into it. Then the last thing we want to talk about is food. So food is the third highest expense according to StatsCan, and you can pay up to 14% of your income in food, but you want to try to keep that as low as possible as well, because it's quite easy to splurge and easily spend $100 or more a day eating food out. You want to try to cook in your vehicle. So if you don't have skills, here you're going to increase your abilities. You can get library books for free, and there's lots of free YouTube videos. We have quite a few YouTube videos on cooking in your van. Also, you're buying food daily, so you're getting fresh food. You're buying only what you need or what you're going to eat, and you're going to eat all of what you make because you don't want to store it. You may pay a little bit more because buying bulk and buying family packs is definitely a cheaper way to go, but in the end you're going to have less waste. You're going to have fresh food, and fresh food means better taste and increased nutrition. Also, this movement to cook in your vehicle adds to your experience living in the van. You're buying local, you're buying in season, and if you're nomadic, you're visiting farms and markets while you're traveling, which can be an experience and a thing to do all in itself. So a summary of all the benefits of tiny living. So we have financial, we have lower expenses, and we have a lower amount of money that we need to live. Mind and mental, less clutter, less stuff, increased mental well-being, less worries and obligations. You've increased your knowledge and skills and your experiences, so memories. Physical benefits, it's an efficient lifestyle. You have what you need, and usually within an arm's length. You're closer to nature, you're outside, reaping the environmental benefits, the sun, vitamin D, increased health. You're moving more, you're acclimatizing your body to the weather outside, and you're eating fresh. For relationships, increased time for loved ones and meeting new people. Less barriers that could get in the way of relationships or their success. And global benefits is a much reduced environmental impact. Less resources used, less energy, water, less waste, less consumerism, and a huge benefit to the planet. So we hope this video provides some insight into the benefits of living tiny. We will be covering many of these topics in greater detail in future videos, as well as some of how-to videos to help increase your knowledge and abilities and experiences. If this video has been beneficial, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We appreciate comments and questions, as well as any suggestions for any future topics. We thank you so much for watching our videos.